Well, good morning. That music always has my toes tapping. It's good to see you all out there, and happy Mother's Day. While I know that there's going to be more said later, I wanted to be the first to say what a wonderful time we had Friday night. It was fun, it was full of humor, and we raised maybe a little bit of money at the same time. So I want to just thank everybody that was involved in that. We may be apart, but we're certainly proving that we're not alone. We welcome you this morning to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Northern Nevada, where it is our mission to grow together in love, faith, justice, and joy. My name is Dave Bianchi, and I'm serving as your worship associate today. We've asked everyone to stay home, just view us and hear us on your personal devices. But know that we still welcome all to be part of us, regardless of racial identity, age, economic circumstances, immigration status, sexual orientation, or gender identity. If you're someone who's just viewing this and it's your first exposure to us, feel free to contact our office or our website for more information. And it's also where you can download a newcomer form. You can sign up for our newsletter that keeps you informed of all the great things and activities here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. And thank you for being with us. And now, Reverend Karen.
Welcome. We're so delighted that you're joining us for our service today. We're so glad that you're here. We take this opportunity to wish you a very happy Mother's Day. And we also want to acknowledge that Mother's Day can be a difficult day for some. And so we hold that also all together as we move through our service today and acknowledge that reality. I do want to say a special thank you to all of you who participated in our diaper drive this past week. We delivered over 1,800 diapers to the Women and Children Center, and that is going to meet their need for the next several weeks. So thank you so much for that huge carload of diapers that you helped provide. Thank you for your generosity. Just a couple of tips on Zoom for those who might be new. You will remain muted throughout the service. And I want to call your attention, if you run your cursor around your screen, you'll find a choice between speaker view and gallery view. Speaker view will allow the person who is presenting to fill the screen. And if you click on gallery view, you'll be able to scroll through all of the people who are gathered by clicking on the arrows on either side of your screen. And you'll want to take advantage of both of those opportunities. I also want to call your attention to the chat box. You'll find something called chat if you run your cursor around your screen. If you click on it, a chat box will open and you'll be able to type into the bottom of that and hit enter, and we'll be able to make comments, and we will use that throughout the service. And you may need to reopen it when a slide is up on your screen, so that even when a slide is up, you'll be able to participate in the chat. At the end of our service, you'll be invited into a small group to have a more intimate conversation for a coffee hour time, and we will invite you to stay on for that. Once again, welcome.
We celebrate forevermore, His name to be seen, for we
open our hearts, our minds, our spirits to being connected wherever we are and learning to connect in new ways. You're invited to get comfortable and take a few deep breaths to settle in for a short while for this time together. You're invited to turn to your chalice now, if you have a chalice there in your home, and we will light our chalice all together. Through the mystery of time and space and the connection of community, may the light and warmth of our chalices reach us all wherever we are and remind us that we are each loved and we are all connected. Throughout our service today, we will be offering several short reflections to honor some mothers of change who have made a difference in our world. I'll begin by honoring pioneer lesbian activist and civil rights giant Phyllis Lyon, who died just this past April at the age of 95. Phyllis co-founded one of the first lesbian organizations in the country, the Daughters of Bilitis, in 1955 with her partner, Del Martin. They were together as soulmates for 51 years. Phyllis and Del were first married in 2004 in the civil disobedience marriages in San Francisco. And 4 years later, when the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage, they became the first gay couple to marry in San Francisco. Lyon was a fearless trailblazer who worked at the city's first gay political organization, the Alice B. Toklas Democratic Club. And she successfully advocated for an anti-discrimination ordinance in the city of San Francisco. That law, which banned workplace and housing discrimination against gays and lesbians, was the first of its kind in a major US city. And it was largely because of the tireless work of Phyllis. Lyon fought for LGBTQ rights at a time when it was neither popular nor safe to do so. She and Del also founded the Lyon Martin Health Services and Women's Community Clinic, which is still in operation today, and it provides primary medical care, sexual and reproductive health care, mental health services for women, for gender nonconforming people, and transgender people of all gender identities and sexual orientation. This clinic treats people regardless of their ability to pay. When Phyllis Lyon was interviewed in 1989, she said this: "We were trying to help lesbians find themselves. You can't have a movement if you don't have people that see that they're worthwhile. If you got stuff you want to change, you have to get out and work on it. You can't just sit around and say, I wish this or that were different. You have to fight for it." And so we honor Phyllis Lyon today as a mother of change.
What wondrous love is this, O my soul, O my soul? What wondrous love is this, O my soul? What wondrous love is this? gives my heart such bliss, and takes away the pain of my soul, and takes away the pain of my soul. When I was sinking down, sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down beneath my sorrow's ground, friends to me gathered round, oh my soul, oh my soul. Friends to me gathered round, oh my soul.
Thank you, Nick. I celebrate your voice. Thank you. You know, this is the time in our service when we have the opportunity to share our bounty with each other. Since we're not physically together to pass the basket, we can do so virtually by texting 73256, putting UUFNN in the message box and hit send, just as you see there on the slide. Then just follow the instructions to provide your offering. You can also mail a check to the office at 780 Del Monte Lane, Reno, Nevada, 89511. And one of the cleanest and slickest ways to donate is to sign up for automatic giving. Contact the office and Carol will send you an automatic draft authorization form. You know, it's in times like this when we see the real strength of our fellowship. So many of our members have pulled together in some amazing ways. I continue to just see and witness all the volunteers who are doing so much to keep us all in touch with one another. I'm grateful for the staff. You know, they were working overtime to keep everything moving along. I'm proud of Reverend Karen realizing early on that we needed to protect ourselves in doing our service remotely. And having had an opportunity to read the paper this morning, I also want to thank Reverend Karen for every week and for her comments in the Faith and Forum column in the Sunday paper. You know, I believe all of this is making our fellowship even stronger. So much goes on behind the scenes as we saw with the success of our auction. And yet, we're still doing so much good in the world. You know, Lois and I have been blessed, and we're able to contribute an amount over our pledge this year. So we're aware that there are some who cannot make their commitment because of the current situation. So if you could join Lois and me, please contribute what you can to help. You know, many have responded to my requests, and I encourage more of us to do the same to help out those who've been left behind during this difficult time. Also, if you haven't yet completed your pledge, I think there's still time. We're very, very close to reaching our goal, and I'm feeling positive by all of us stepping up. We'll be stronger than ever. So thank you for joining Lois and me and taking care of our beloved community. Now, let the offering begin. Thank you. And now I would like you to join Lois and me as we bless these offerings to the work of this fellowship, which is helping more people grow in love, faith, justice, and joy. We dedicate ourselves, and these are offerings.
When I was sinking down, sinking down, sinking down. When I was sinking down, sinking down. When I was sinking down beneath my sorrow's ground, friends to me gathered round. Oh my soul, oh my soul. Friends to me gathered round. Oh my soul. To love and to all friends I will sing, I will sing. To love and to all friends I will sing. To love and to all friends who pain and sorrow mend, with thanks unto the end I will sing, I will sing. With thanks unto the end, I will sing.
Sylvia Rivera has been called a radical leader in the work for LGBTQ rights, a trailblazer, and a legendary activist. As she says about her justice work, we were angry about the world and the way it was, the way they were treating people, and so she decided to do something about it. As a younger activist, she was involved in Black liberation and the peace movement before fully taking on issues of justice for LGBTQ people, and especially for transgender people. As a trans Latina who spent much of her life homeless, Sylvia especially cared about the struggles of trans people of color and those living in poverty. She spent much of her life working to create safe spaces for trans people of color to discuss the issues that they faced, including co-founding an organization called the Star House to help the homeless gay population, which especially focused on people of color and incarcerated youth. She was only 19 years old when she created the Star House. And even at that young age, she was like a mother to many of the young people who found care and support there. There were many times in Sylvia's life where mainstream LGBTQ rights organizations turned against her. They disagreed with her tactics for getting things done. Sylvia made people uncomfortable because she was trans and she was a woman of color and she was poor. This was different from many of the white, cisgender, wealthier people who were creating change at that time, and it sometimes made people uncomfortable. Sylvia was loud and adamant that people be heard and have rights, and so sometimes she came across as a troublemaker. Now people remember her as one of the historical leaders within the movement to ensure that all people have rights. Sylvia Rivera was doing justice work from an intersectional lens before people really understood how important it was to see all the ways people's identities impact how they are treated in the world. We honor Sylvia Rivera as a mother of change.
Have you ever hiked or driven up Mount Rose, enjoying Wheeler Peak, marveled at how much open space we Nevadans enjoy? This is due in large part to the tireless efforts of one of the mothers we celebrate this Sunday, is Marge Sill, a member of this fellowship for many years. To her sorrow, She never had any biological children, but all of us who love our beautiful Nevada wildness and wilderness are spiritually her children. Indeed, she is called the grandmother of the Nevada wilderness. Joining the Sierra Club in 1949, she was a leading voice in the passage of the Wilderness Act of 1986. She was also instrumental in creating Great Basin National Park and was a founding member of Friends of Nevada Wilderness. She cared as much for the people hiking on the land and was a champion for health benefits and paid time off. It really is difficult to point everything Marge advocated so passionately up to literally the day of her passing a few years ago. Just reflect for a moment of the strength she had as a woman in 1949 to begin her activism. Marge dreamt big and accomplished so much for so many and for so many generations. So when you are out enjoying our beautiful wild areas, think with gratitude of Marge's love for both the wild and for people that was so instrumental in keeping the Nevada wild. We honor Marge still as a mother of change.
What wondrous love is this, O my soul, O my soul? What wondrous love is this, O my soul? What wondrous love is this that brings my heart such bliss and takes away the pain of my soul, and takes away the pain of my soul. To love and to all friends I will sing, I will sing. To love and to all friends I will sing. To love and to all friends who pain and sorrow mend, with thanks unto the end, I will sing, I will sing. With thanks unto the end, I will sing.
Thanks again, Nick. I love following you. It just makes me feel good. You know, as a person in his late 70s, I'm so elated, pleased, and excited that there are so many young people who have been able to raise the consciousness of the world about social issues that need to be addressed. You know, one such person is Autumn Peltier. Autumn, who's now known as the Water Warrior, is only 15 years old, but has drawn the attention of the whole world with her advocacy of clean drinking water for Indigenous people. She lives in Ottawa on Lake Huron and started speaking up at a very, very young age. When she presented an award to Justin Trudeau, but at the same time confronted him on clean drinking water issues, it caught everyone's attention. And she became in demand as a speaker and has even spoken at the United Nations Secretary General's Climate Action Summit in both 2019, where she stated both times in both years, "We can't eat money or drink oil." She's been nominated for the International Children's Peace Prize. What started as an advocacy for clean drinking water involving the First Nation of Canada has now reached worldwide. She's a passionate advocate and is making real change in the world. So thank you, Autumn Peltier, for being a mother of change.
We also honor Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. She was born in Maryland in 1825, a free child born of free parents, but in a slave state. She was orphaned at age 3. It would seem she had everything going against her, but she was taken in by her aunt and her uncle, who was an AME minister and greatly influenced his niece. From an early age, she was influenced by his work as a civil rights activist and an abolitionist. She was educated in an academy that he founded, and even as a teenager began to write and publish articles in anti-slavery journals. In her 20s, she began to write and publish poetry, followed by short stories and 3 novels. She was one of the first Black people published in these realms, and focused on themes of education, civil rights for women, social issues, abolition, social responsibility, temperance. And as her work progressed in education and in public service and her reputation grew, these themes became larger and more persistent with her until she had a national audience. She became an educator at the college level, becoming the first Black female teacher in the first college owned and operated by Blacks. She was active in the Unitarian Church because of its stand as anti-abolitionist. She, speaking to ever-increasing audiences, gave public speeches throughout the 1850s, a traveling lecturer for the American Anti-Slavery Society. In 1858, 100 years before Rosa Parks, she refused to give up her seat on public transportation in Philadelphia or to sit in the section set aside for Black people. In 1866, she spoke at the National Women's Rights Convention, demanding equal rights for all. And in the late 1800s, co-founded the National Association of Colored Women and became its vice president in 1897. Clearly motivating her was her conviction of the interconnectedness of all of us. She believed with her whole soul in the worth and dignity of every individual, and clearly understood that we are only as strong and as safe as the strength and safety of the most vulnerable among us. This was the message that she proclaimed with her whole life. She married in 1860. Her husband came to the marriage with 3 children by a former marriage. She had a daughter, but then he died 4 years after the marriage. So while she was carrying on all of this national work and advocacy, she single-handedly raised those 4 children and continued her advocacy and her work until her death in 1911. She is buried in the Unitarian Church in Philadelphia. We are proud to have her, to be in the same Unitarian fellowship that she was, and we honor Frances Ellen Watkins Harper as a mother of change.
We're each invited now to take a few moments and honor those change makers, those mothers of change who have made a difference and who are still making a difference. You're invited for the next few moments to write in the chat box the names of those mothers of change that we want to honor and remember today.
We are blessed by all of these women in our lives, those who paved a path as change makers in all the small and large ways that change happens, those who transformed our lives so that we might be change makers ourselves. We offer loving gratitude to all those we were blessed to meet and those who will remain quiet ancestors in our lives. We honor all of the women who are our mothers of change.
We continue our time of remembrance, and we also join together in our time of community prayer and meditation, joining our hearts, our spirits, our minds, our collective consciousness. You're invited to record now in the chat box any of those joys and concerns, celebrations, uncertainties that you would like to share with our gathered community during our time of community prayer and meditation. We gather together as one heart. All of our love and our care and our energy and compassion. And we send it out to those who are in need of strength, those who are lonely, those who are feeling fearful or depressed or anxious in these days. In this time of despair, of fear, of uncertainty, this time that is both like every other era and like no other time in history, it is audacious to declare our faith and to commit our work to a world that is more free, more just, more whole. May we do just that, and may we choose love. Blessed be, and amen. thank you so much for joining us for our service today. If you're new to us and you haven't filled out the newcomer card, that opportunity will appear in the chat box in the next few moments. We invite you to do that so that we can keep in touch with you about our various connection opportunities. Watch your email for the programming and connection opportunities that we have available so that you can join together for those particular opportunities. I wanted to make sure that you are aware of our women's retreat that is coming up this Saturday. We're going to join together virtually so that all women, even those who have moved away, can participate in a time of good company and intimate connections this Saturday from 10 to noon. And you can find information in your chat box to RSVP to Kristen, and then she will email you the connection information, and we'll join together on Zoom from 10 a.m. to noon this Saturday. If you know of someone who is in need of help, either errands or help connecting electronically, we would love to help with that. And so we would just ask that you let us know if you or anyone needs some help. We have lots of people who are willing to offer support. Please do remember to help us provide juice pouches. Our feeding of hungry people through the posse goes on, and you can leave those in the bins that are between the buildings during the week, and they'll be picked up and used on Wednesday evenings to help feed our hungry neighbors. I do want to spend a few moments saying just a little bit about our auction on Friday evening. Dave alluded to it. We just had an extraordinary event. We had about over 80 people online together. We had a wonderful time. It was so brave and bold what our auction team brought together. And we want to particularly thank Gaia Brown, Mary Lee, Brooke Walker, Mary Gail Morris, Nancy Oakley, Linda Bowman, Sandy Young, Bobby and Sean Ma, Terry Martin, Tori Carlin, Cindy Fogel, Kathy Cook, Valerie Cook, Nancy Jones, Dave Bianchi, Jen Ryan, Philip Moore, Emily Montan, Michelle Hamilton, Lloyd Rogers, and of course the indomitable and indefatigable Sheila Shea, who is the coordinator, planner, designer, who brought everyone together and made it happen on Friday evening. And if we were in the great room all together, I would ask for a drum roll so that I can tell you that on Friday evening, over $23,000 was raised to go to the bottom line of our fellowship in these times. Thank you to our extraordinary auction team, and thank you to you for your generosity in making such an audacious and bold and fun, joyous event happen. We can't thank you enough. Wow. Thank you once again for joining us today. We're going to join together in our closing song, and then you'll be invited after the benediction and the postlude to join together in small groups for a little while of conversation.
I will stand with you. Will you stand with me? And we will be the change that we hope to see. In the name of love, in the name of peace, will you stand with me? When injustice raises up its fist and fights to stop us in our tracks, we will rise, and as one resist, no fear nor sorrow can turn us back. I will stand with you, will you stand with me, and we will be the change that we hope to see. In the name of love, in the name of peace, of love, in the name of peace, will you stand with me? When broken hearts come knocking on our doors, lost and hungry and so alone, we will reach as we have reached before, for there is no stranger in this our home. I will stand with you, will you stand with me? And we will be the change that we hope to see. In the name of love, in the name of peace, will you stand with me? In the name of love, in the name of peace, will you stand with me?
Amy,
Beloved, I'm going to invite you to do something special as we share together in our benediction. Just as we did on Friday night, I'm going to invite you to hold up your hands in your frame. And in this way, in the gallery, we make contact with one another as if we were holding hands. And in this way, we have a symbol of our all being connected. Beloved, just as certain as the sun is shining outside, may you know that you are deeply loved. I will stand with you. Will you stand with me? And surely we will be the change that we hope to see. Even in these days, we will be the change that we hope to see. Blessed be, and amen.